So we want to solve equations that involve exponents. Well, hopefully we've already done some solving of equations. Here's an equation, 3x equals 12. How do we get the x by itself? If this is 3 times x, which is what that means, the inverse operation of multiplying is dividing, and so we should divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals 4. Correct? All right? An inverse operation. What about x plus 5 equals 14? We want to get the x by itself. There's a plus 5 here. What's the inverse operation of adding? Well, subtracting 5 cancels that out. We do it to both sides, and we get x equals 9. All right? 3 divided by 3 became 1. 1 times x is x. Plus 5 minus 5 became 0. X plus 0 is x. And so there's an inverse operation idea involved in solving equations. All right. What's the inverse operation to use on an x squared? How can we turn an x squared into a plain old x? Well, the inverse of squaring is taking the square root. When you take the square root of x squared, you get x. Well, what if you have an x cubed? How can we turn that into an x? Well, then we need to take the cubed root. Remember the index up here? That means it's the cubed root. The cubed root of x cubed is x. And so we can turn variables with exponents into just the plain old x or x to the first power, but that's what we're trying to accomplish when we solve. Well, let's solve then. How do we solve the equation x squared equals 36? Well, this is an x squared. I want it to be an x, and so I will take the square root of it. But I can't just take the square root of one side of the equation. I've got to take the square root of both sides. What's the square root of x squared? It's x. What's the square root of 36? It's 6. Done. X equals 6. What if I want to solve this equation? X cubed equals 125. Well, I need to take the cubed root of x cubed in order to turn it into an x. But then that means I have to take the cubed root of the other side. What's the cubed root of 125? It's 5. Because 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. All right? Solving equations with exponents. Take the square root of both sides, or take a cube root of both sides.